Hello, my name is Nicholas. I will be talking to you about 5-MeO-DMT. Where does it come from? 5-MeO-DMT is a tryptamine natural product, most identified as the primary psychoactive component of the gland secretions of the Sonoran desert toad. It is found in the U.S. in the Colorado River all the way down to Mexico. Human consumption of these secretions may cause psychoactive effects, mystical experiences with high intensity for about 10 to 45 minutes, depending on the route of administration. It has a relatively short history, and it was also suggested that it may have been used by indigenous cultures for religious ceremonies and occasions, but of course there's no documentation to support this claim. Studies indicate the presence of 5-MeO-DMT between 20 to 30% of total dry weight, or approximately 200-300 milligrams per dried gram of toad secretions. And that is relatively high compared to plant-derived sources of 5-MeO-DMT. The relatively recent discovery of high concentrations of 5-MeO-DMT in the Sonoran desert toad led to an increase in recreational spiritual use, and poaching and drug trafficking, which is very unfortunate. The effects on the limbic system. 5-MeO-DMT can be inhaled or snorted. The reaction of this drug can cause intense 10 to 2 hours of psychedelic effects involved in spontaneous altered states of consciousness such as dreams, free imagination, and insightful creativity. The effects can range from radical perspective shifting and euphoria to immersive experiences, dissociation, and non-responsiveness, along with sensual erotic enhancements to dysphoria, fear, terror, panic, and ego death. I would not recommend this for anyone who doesn't do any sort of psychedelics. All right, so just a few notes. Mechanism of action, structural analog in serotonin. So it mimics serotonin and melatonin, modulates the anti-inflammatory response. A single dose modulates specific signaling molecules of learning and memory. In humans, administration to healthy subjects reduces rapid eye movement, sleep, and increased slow wave sleep. Unintended side effects, risks. Experiences may last longer and more intense for those who take antidepressants. They may induce feelings of awe, visual and auditory hallucinations, along with other sensations. It could cause high blood or high body temperature, and in some cases, death. Which schedule is it? It's Schedule 1. In the United States, 5-MeO-DMT is listed as a Schedule 1 of the Controlled Substances Act. It's illegal to use recreationally or in therapy outside of special approved research settings. The punishment for use or possession of Schedule 1 drugs with intent to sell, according to California Penal Code, it's a felony. And the fines can go up to $20,000, and you could spend up to 5 years in jail, which I would not recommend, although I have not been. Clinical use, there have been self-reported improvements in anxiety and depression. One study found evidence that 5-MeO-DMT causes structural changes in the human brain. Cells may inhibit neurodegeneration. Study measured the intensity of mystical experiences with 5-MeO-DMT compared to those with psilocybin. So it is pretty highly psychoactive. You may see some very strong hallucinations. All right. In today's society, 5-MeO-DMT is being developed and evaluated for potential therapeutic effects in patients with treatment-resistant depression. It could help treat anxiety and depression, but further research is needed to determine its safety and effectiveness. Another point is the Sonoran frog is being poached and subjected to high amounts of stress. When it's exposed to high amounts of stress, that's when it releases the secretions. So in order for anyone to extract it, it needs to be under a high amount of stress. It is a defense mechanism, and it only adds to their declining population. Okay. Also, interesting fact, psychedelic researcher Alan Davis conducted a survey in 2018 of 362 adults, which 162 self-reported suffering from anxiety and depression after using the synthetic in a ceremonial group setting of 5 to 12 people with a sober guide. Approximately 80% reported improvements in both conditions. All right, and that is it.